Okay, we're back. We've just laid in some of this lip and eyelid color, sort of a peachy tone. We're gonna come in, and what I've done is mix some Decay, some Dermatitis Tan together, and then I put a couple little drops of Vascular Violet in just for a little spice. And I barely reduced it, a couple drops of reducer. Oh, I got some in there already. All right, what I like to do with mixed colors is set that cup aside so you don't bump it and have to come back and try to match that. Oh, the other thing is, rather than taking some Decay in a cup and trying to chase it with lightening it up with the Dermatitis Tan, you're going to use 2 bottles of this to try to get there. Start with the lightest color and add the darker color to that, okay? I learned that the hard way. My dad was always wondering, why do you need so much white? I don't know, I use it up. All right, here we go. Now what I'm gonna do with this color is I'm gonna kind of raccoon his eyes a little bit in this sullen, dark kind of shadowy brown tone. We're just gonna kind of overcoat this whole area, leaving some of that already laid in purple in there. We're just gonna get these dark graveyard eyes, pardon me. We're going to lift this up a little bit. Get in here. Give him a little. If you kind of go over some of that pink, we'll bring some of that back later. Or that peach, rather. Come in here on this side. We're going to, whoops, let me just turn it a little bit here. Outline it, drop some in. We're just going to kind of lightly shade that. It's a little darker. Come up here a little bit. Get them all kind of graveyardy. Maybe I put a little too much on here. And come back. We'll just darken this one up. All right, he's got it cool. We'll shadow these eye corners a little bit. Side of the nose, give it a little shade. Maybe a little follow-up. Just kind of bleed it out a little bit so it's not just a black eye. But it's kind of what I was going for. We'll just shadow this a little bit more. Pull that shadow a little bit more around it. This is because he's been digging graves and stuff, doesn't see the sun a lot. All right, drop some in here just to keep the transition sweet. This will soften some of your wrinkles too. It'll just kind of soften that nose. And if you get too heavy, don't sweat it. We'll come back. We'll do some of the temple shadow a little bit. But later we're going to put some of this, again from the Lifeline palette, the cool tone. We'll maybe haze some of that in there. Just make that that sunken in, you know, where you see his veins are popping through his gossamer-like skin. It's so thin from being an old man. And get over here a little bit, just a little bit. Start shading some of his look. We'll get under here, his cleft of his chin a little bit, and under the lip, just a touch. And a little under his nose, maybe a little bit under his jawline. Just shadow that a little bit for fun. Maybe in here. This is just kind of like, again, we're just kind of mapping out the paint jobs. So we got to get under here. Do that. Might as well dig in some there. Start giving his mouth some shape. In fact, what we could do is we could blast this over rather than trying to chase every little crack between the teeth. We could just kind of hit that. And maybe we'll come in with the brush and just detail them. But in between will be nice and shaded, you know, making his gappy teeth already a little more gappy. All right. Another cool thing with this color is what I like to do is add these freckles, or, you know, just little dark spots. And what that does also for a paint job where you want them to look sort of translucent and it's an opaque material, it makes all this underpainting appear behind that dark spot. It really tricks the eye to where that dark spot, you know, is on the top, so everything like that's subtler appears below it. All right, so we'll put one of those here, and maybe a little chaser. So you got big brother, little brother, and maybe we'll put a sister over here. We got a couple little, you know, we get a couple of these things going. And don't get too crazy with them yet. We can have fun later. And don't put them exactly like I just did on the same spot. But, you know, that one's darker. What you can do is throw it off with another little one by it. I usually work in threes with the freckles, or 1 or 3, so it's an oddball, because you don't want a little square pattern going on with freckles, and it might stand out. Maybe we'll hit this little chin one. You see, this one's a little taller, so you got to get the edges so you don't have holidays on the side. All right, all right. You got that. We can draw in the top of that lid, maybe too. Maybe we will come back with some of that peach and just draw it back in. But now we're getting them kind of graveyard ready. All right, I'll be back and we'll go over some of this cool tone. We'll drop some of that in and maybe we'll dabble in some veins, okay? Oh, before you go, when you do this modeling, what you end up with is almost a natural little subtle vein pattern too. They start connecting up just randomly, and that's just part of the neatness of that. You can see some of this where they start connecting up just naturally, and it's just happy accidents. All right, cool. I'll see you in a minute. Bye. All right, I'm back, and as promised, we're going to come in with a little bit of my cool tone from the Lifeline set, and test this off model. Get your spray line. We're just going to dance in a little bit of the cool tone in here in these temples, maybe down in some of these neck deep spots, just to kind of simulate some of that underneath veinage that might be down in there. Okay, so let's drop a little bit of this on, just ever so softly. All right, it's going to be hard to see maybe on camera. We're just kind of dancing in a little bit of that, making that kind of creepy, Uncle Creepy. Cool tone, you see some of that. Reed's really neat. I like that, I like that. And we're kind of going into the deep spots of the skull, really, and that's where all the good stuff might be down in there. Oops, I went a little hot, so we're not going to worry about that because we'll drop a freckle strategically over that. He's a ghoul. Well, these are reroutable. Okay, well, we didn't do it, but we'll just come in here, dance some of that. Don't freak out if you do that. Don't worry. He's not a prom queen. We're going to go in and we'll fix that up. Yeah, unless the boss is coming, then throw it away or hide it. All right, we'll dance some of that in there, maybe under the cheeks a little bit. Let's go to this side. We'll try not to go so heavy on this side, maybe in that one spot. Check your spray off model. Put some of that in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And again, if you keep the airbrush moving, you're not gonna get those hang-ups. Always just maybe even keep a paper towel handy. Check your flow, especially when you're just trying for a subtle pass. All right, maybe a little in this brow line. We'll dance some of that. You can see how that's kind of looking real tasty in there. Come around here, little indentions in some of the skull contours. Oops, went heavy again, but we'll hide that with some other stuff. We'll let it ride. There's a lot going on, even though we went very easy with spatter and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff going on this little guy already. So there we go. Don't forget under the chin, if that's something I'm not going to worry about under the chin with this color. Get up in here in some of these deeper areas. And that's the cool tone danced in there. Maybe we'll come back with a little bit heavier veins with the code blue. Or we could even go to some of the expired blue. All right, it's got a little bit of more opacity to it, but there's the cool tone, as you can see. All right, we'll go to the next color. All right, see you in a minute. All right, okay, we're ready for the next color. What I'm going to go to is the expired blue. This one, shake it, give it a good shake. Got some in here already. I put a couple drops of the 4011 reduce it just to make it flow a little easier. What we're going to do is drop in a couple just crispy little veins, you know, something like that. We're going to follow some of the patterns of the sculpt. And let's go over here. There seems to be a little ridge around here somewhere. And we'll have these other capillary like ones that we have from the modeling crossovers and happy accidents, but I can see something going on here, so we'll just drop in a little temple vein here. Now if you go a little wide, don't freak out. We can drop over some dermatitis tan back over that here and there, splotching it up and kind of bury it again. So you can see this a little bit, we'll wiggle in something like that. And this is just kind of in conjunction with the cool tone that we just put in. You know, there's not too many veins on the back of your head, although you do bleed if you get whacked over there. We'll drop a couple little veins here. Maybe one in your ear, you got one that's somewhere in there. Yeah, let's put a couple little things in there. That's a real big one. What I like to do with those is not always go over a sculpture, because the high point might be a highlight actually, and you'd shadow along the edge. So we can do that over here. So if you see a raised vein, that's usually the light part is the top, not paint it like a vein. You paint the side of it, and you'll see the blue on the side of it, the kind of the shadowy tone. All right, let's put a little blue, so we got it in the gun, or the brush we should say, they're not guns. We'll drop a couple in here, and we're ready for a little, I'm gonna come up and we'll just tighten this up a little bit. We'll come here, maybe we'll bold this one up a little bit too. That way they match on both sides. Yeah. Bring that back there. Okay, so we got a couple veins. We'll come in, tighten these edges up a little bit, and we'll be good. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Bye. All right, okay, we're back. I'm just gonna do a quick fix on some of these heavy veins, in particular, some of this hardness. But it's good to have dense and lighter veins, because your veins don't just wiggle on the top of your skin or just underneath. They go in and out of your skin, you know. So you have some get closer and then deep and dive. So we're just gonna tighten some of this up. Again, test off model, not on the table. And we're just gonna dance a little dermatitis tan and knock this down. Now we could have went maybe with the cool tone, but it's just got a little greenier cast to it. I wanted some bluer veins, so we'll do that. You know, see, now we're kind of creating that highlight and that neat little. And now it's starting to really look under the skin there. We'll pop a couple freckles that'll make that look even deeper. Yeah, this side's not. It can use a little help right in here. You know, we'll clean that up a little bit. And it's not the end of the world, you know. In this case, you know, we'll drop in some dermatitis tan. You could always fleck in, maybe, you know, some a little of your surgery sienna, a little watery, just to put a little topical spatter on it. It's up to you. I'll probably just do it with the airbrush later and just pepper in some color lightly. I don't know what happened over here. We'll knock that out of there a little bit. All right. Yeah. See, nothing is not reversible. In fact, let's do that real quick. Let's do this. Let's get a little bit of our 4011. Just a little touch. And we're just gonna put like a dribble, a little touch of that in there. Literally like maybe even 2 drops. Okay. We're just gonna come back. We're just gonna pepper this down a little bit. It's a little chalky. Just ever so slightly. Boom, boom, boom. Don't touch them. because it's reducer on there and it'll lift some of that bottom paint, okay? Just pepper in some of that. Maybe we'll just kind of carry it down and around. Now see, I started handling this too much on the ear before this was cured, so some of the paint's coming off a little bit. That's going to happen if you're handling it like that before the thorough cure time. All right, let's do that. Maybe we'll do a touch of this. This was the shadow color from the eye sockets. We'll just pepper in a couple little quickies in there, couple over here. Yep, I think we're there. All right, and I'll see you in a little bit with some more colors. We'll see where we're going. Let me figure something out. Maybe we'll grunge up his teeth. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back and we're ready to go. We just did the veins, some spattering just to tie them back underneath the skin. But I'm starting to think maybe he's a little pale for my taste. We'll warm him up a bit just to bring him back into the living, okay? So what I did was I reduced down some of the surgery sienna with some of our 4011 reducer. I did go about between 5 and 10% on that. So we get a little test off model. Let's go over here and we're just gonna kind of do an overwash, kind of just we'll start very light. You don't want to be blasting this everywhere. So what we're going to do, just start warming up some of the skin. Maybe leave some of these knobby heads a little less so they're a little highlighted already. And we'll kind of come around here. And we're still retaining a lot of that good stuff we put in already. We come around to the back, we'll leave this kind of bulgy a little lighter. This little cranial bulge. We'll just kind of halo it and then come down here. This is just kind of a knockdown for the whole paint job. Ever so light. You see how he's warming up. And we'll leave some of these high points alone. Well, we'll try to leave them alone a little bit. Come in there, get under here, always under the chin. We got a little heavy here, but wood can fix that. Or not, I don't really mind it. Taking them into that real kind of icky skin tone. All right, we'll get in here a little bit. You can see how layering really is effective, and it just brings it home. So we're getting near where we can start dropping in the eyes and some cool stuff. See, that gives us a slight yellow tone too to the ears that your ears often have. I don't know if that has anything to do with the wax. All right, I'll come back. Leave the highlight here. Are we out of paint? Yep, we're out of paint, so we'll throw a little bit more 4011 in here. A couple drops of this. Surgery sienna again. Maybe 1, 2. All right, seal that. Kind of in cut mix. We just want to wash. We're almost done. So we're just gonna knock this down. Oops, put our lid on so we don't spill it on our shoes. Since this is a little warmer here, we'll equal it up over here. So we kind of got them going into the world. All right. So that's that pass. I think without even really rinsing out the cup, because it wasn't a lot of paint in there, we're going to shift right into some blunt trauma umber straight away out of the bottle. There she blows. All right, what we're going to do with this, and I guess I do have a little bit over here, but we'll live with it for now. Nah, no we won't. Let me just do a little touch up. Quick touch up, a little more of this, but we'll move right into the blunt trauma umber. One drop because we just need the faintest mix, faintest little dash will do you. Just going to bring this a little deeper to match the other side. Yeah, you know, nobody's head's symmetrical that much. So we'll put a little more there, a little here, a little there. Yeah, that's neat. That's really cool. And that's the transparent quality of these paints. Really lends itself to these airbrush washes. All right, give this a quick wipe. Not really, because they're in the same ballpark color-wise. Seal up the sienna, blunt trauma umber. Give this just a quick little shake. Just a little dab, because we're just going to do some freckling, some spotting. There's your brown. We're not going to go dark. Well, maybe we will. Let's see. All right. I want to put one right here. So what we'll do is start slow and close in. And we got a nice little highlight right there. A little hard-shelled peppercorn, I like to call them. All right. But I like doing them in threes. So we'll do another tiny one over here. And then we'll do, let's do one more over here. So there's that. See how that pushes that back? We'll put a couple here. But here we're just going to go a little lighter and just kind of infer some spottage. Just kind of random. Different densities by going in and out and how much we put. All right. Here, we can just dust this a little bit and blend some of that in. Let's get this guy dark again. I lined him up, but I like him dark, I think. Yeah, just got to get the sides. He's a little raised up, so then we'll get that guy. Bring that one that was in his ear back. Give him some little livery spots coming. Now you'd probably carry some of those all the way to the back of his head. I envision him with a real, just sparse amounts of long, kind of white and gray hair, maybe. Kind of like a, funeral director or what have you. Looks like this got a little orange, so we can just come back with just the slightest mist of maybe the dermatitis tan. You know, you're going to have some areas you got to always go back and just knock back or knock in. It's kind of the nature of painting. And I think it just ultimately adds up, and that's what makes the magic happen. There's all these little accidents and then the corrections, and then that's really part of the paint job, you know. Let's put a couple hard ones up here. See that? Put a hard dark one there. See, same color, but you can get a good range of color value with the one shade. All right, so let me take a moment, wash this out. I'll go to dermatitis tan, and I'll show you how we'll clean that up just a touch, and then we'll be on maybe the eyes, okay? I'll see you in a minute. Bye.